What is going on, guys? We are back in ERLC. We are going to be doing a whole video on all things police and sheriff in this game. We're going to talk about how to play it, how to equip yourself, avatars, vehicles, and of course, what you're probably most interested in, how to get XP the fastest. So, first things first, if you're new to the game, you may not even know how to become police. Well, let me show you. You don't have to drive all the way to the police station. You can actually do it right from spawn. So all you do is you go up here to these three little white lines at the top. Click that. Go to teams. And you'll see here there is sheriff and there's police. Now, they're essentially the same thing. So if one is full and the other is not, you see the sheriffs are almost full and the police have 7. That maxes out at 10 each. Just go to the other one. No big deal. And if you want, you can switch when something opens up. But in the meantime, we're going to go to police. You simply click the icon, and you're going to get this thing that says call sign required. Now, a lot of people go, oh, do I have a call sign? What do I have to do? Well, you just make up a number. I use BUN, short for bunny. And all that's going to do is be a way for other officers to identify you. It's going to be on the MDT. It's going to be on the map. It's going to be on your license plate of your cruiser. That's all that is. So there's nothing that you have to do beforehand. You just click something and then hit join. So, you'll end up getting teleported here to the police station. You are now a cop, but don't be too hasty and run out and start doing stuff. We gotta get ourselves equipped first. So, the way you do that, just right here in this corner has everything you need. So, first things first, let's put on a uniform. So you click on this, you have your gear and uniforms in this locker. You're going to have a few available as cadet. This is a rank if it's your first time playing, you have no experience. You'll be able to use all these. You kind of just choose whichever one you like the look of most. Let's just click a random one here. And now you've got a uniform. All your other items will stay on. It just gives you the shirt and pants. Of course, I've got some pants on that override them. I actually use a fully custom uniform, which you're going to see. That's why I'm dressed up like this. I have one that matches what I'm wearing in the game, but I'm just showing you in case you don't want to go so all out as me. The next thing is your gear. So go back in the same menu, go over to gear, and equip absolutely everything you can. Just equip everything. You're going to have a whole bunch of stuff right from the bat. There's one called like a duty belt, for example. You can see this is only needed at the cadet rank, so you can have this immediately. This puts a duty belt on you, so now we're looking like a proper officer here. Now, like I said, use a custom avatar, so I'm going to switch over to that and respawn, and I will go over that for just a second here. Respawn. There we go. So you can see everything's different. However, if you're going to use a custom avatar and you want to go all out, I would say you can take all this stuff off. Maybe you want to buy your own duty belt that looks different. Maybe you want to use your own uniform. Take all this off, and you can see now I'm using purely something I created. So if you look at this, there's quite a few items that go here. You know, I've got a microphone that goes over my vest. I've got an earpiece. I've got sunglasses, a hat. A vest itself. I've got my own custom duty belt. I've got my own custom sidearm, shirt and pants, gloves. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll show you all that stuff a little bit later, but I just think it's cool to have like a custom outfit. Just really makes the RP fun. So next thing, every cop is going to need a firearm, of course. So the armory, you go over at the beginning, you're just going to have this handgun. I, of course, have them all unlocked. I'm going to grab this one. The Type 89, I like that one the most. It is a powerful automatic weapon. So you can see here. I'll just show you what it does. Pretty good weapon, you know, comparable to like an AK-47 kind of thing that the civilians can get. To get your ammo, you just come here, click E on that, and that will refill your ammo. So now that we have everything we need, now we're ready to go out into the wild. So over here on this side, this is all just repeats of the same stuff, just so it's not too crowded in here. I guess I'll show you real quick. At the back of the police station, there are offices and a lobby, so all kinds of stuff you can do to role play. For example, I'm commander rank, so I'm supervisor. So sometimes I'll use the supervisor's office and have, like a meeting or a chat with some people in here. So that's really fun. There's also, if you want to do some sort of roleplay setup around the corner here, not everyone knows this, there's a full-on meeting room that you can fit basically the entire police force, both sheriff and regular police can come in here, and we can do a full-on meeting, talk at the podium. Really fun stuff to roleplay there. So that's what you can do here at the police station. There's a few other things. You can roleplay a dispatch. You can roleplay like an interrogation room. This, of course, has like a viewing thing, like a real one. See, there's a viewing room, so you can see them and they can't see you. So that's really fun to play. Computer room here, and a few other offices. And then, of course, the front desk. You can sit here if someone wants to come make a complaint against complete police force. Sometimes they do. You can go there. So now let's start getting really ready to go with a vehicle. That's the next thing we're going to need. This guy seems to be glitched, running nowhere. So come over here and you spawn a vehicle. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can drive. When you just start out, you're only going to see this one. It won't look like this, though. It'll just look like a regular one. The customization is something I do want to get into right away, because this will change your playstyle. So when you first start, you're going to have, I wonder if I have a normal one. Okay, well, it looks kind of like this, okay? So get myself out of the way. So this is essentially what you're going to start with. I've, of course, customized this quite a bit, but we'll get into that. But you can sort of choose whether you want to do a regular cop, so you could just go out like this and start patrolling.
No. We're not making bread. Just come out over here.
Some commotion going on. You can kind of go out like this, and you can see this guy is doing that and go as a normal marked car. Or you can do what this guy is doing and go for an unmarked or undercover vehicle. Now, I think that's really fun, because then you're going to be able to catch a lot more people doing stuff that they wouldn't normally be doing if they see you in a marked car. Now, unfortunately, you do have to pay for this, but it's just a few Robux, and if you're playing this often, and this is a fairly high-end game that you are going to want to come back to, it is totally worth it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about there. So there are 2 passes. So you come here and click Vehicle Accessories, and you can see here it says these are all unlocked. That's because I bought both of the passes. So there is a customization pass and there is a detective pass. If you want to do, full on like this, undercover, the whole 9 yards, no push bar, no nothing, civilian plate, everything. I'll even show you how undercover this is. Even on the starting Crown Vic, you don't even have to have anything unlocked for this. But check this out. Like if I turn my lights on, it's just got this. A few lights in the back, one little light here, headlights, but other than that, there is nothing. There is a civilian plate, there are civilian hubcaps, there are no markings, no antennas. This looks exactly like the civilian version of it. So, very, very cool. Fun to roleplay. You can, say you're an FBI, say you're undercover, something like that. Maybe a detective. That's really fun. Now, the level of customization in this game is unbelievable. It is way better than a lot of other games. There's so much you can do, and I will demonstrate that right now. So let's start out. Let's just, for fun's sake, let's just make it a random color. Let's make it bright red. So you can make the car all those colors. You can go to your accessories, and now you can choose, do you want like a really decked out marked car, or do you want to stick with the unmarked, or do you want to make it an obvious unmarked? That's another way to make it kind of cool. So you can go, for example, maybe I want an old school rotary light bar. It doesn't want to switch. Why don't you want to switch? Oh, I know why. Because I'm using the undercover, so I got to go back to Ghost. So that is why. So now I go back to, yeah, I can use the light bar now. Okay, so Ghost is basically sort of like an unmarked, but you have the writing on it. You can't just put a light bar in a car with no markings, obviously. So since this is an older model car, I think this is a 2003. Oh yeah, right here. There you have these old school light bars. So that looks really cool on this one, for example. You can do rear window lights. You can put some deck lights on the back. You can put a dash light on the front in addition to the light bar. You can put under mirror lights right there. You can put side window lights. You can put grill lights. You can do like a push bar or not. You can kind of choose. You can make it go all the way around with a wraparound bar. Like, look at how this is starting to look. This is crazy. What else can you do? You can do a grappler. This thing is the one that you deploy out and get people's tires on when you're in a chase. That's really handy. Maybe we'll use that. You can decide whether or not you want a civilian horn or civilian plate. You can decide whether you want wheel covers. ALPR is license plate readers. That's these things. Those are pretty cool. Let's see. You can do antennas, like a 5G antenna on the roof. Put that in the front center, or is it right there? That's pretty cool. Long range antennas, like this giant. Let's see. Where's trunk center? Giant, like highway patrol style antenna on the back there. That's pretty hilarious. So now we can see we've got quite the car coming along here. And the neat thing about this is nobody's going to have an exact similar car, or very unlikely, because everyone's customizing it to their own thing. So maybe I want to put a spotlight on. Maybe I want the passenger to also have a spotlight. Maybe not. Maybe I want side runner lights. I can put these things on. And that's about where it taps out. But, we've pretty much got everything you could ask for. So let's just exit the garage real quick and see how this thing looks in action. So we'll spawn it. Turn our lights on. So check this thing out. If you compare this to this random cop that's just right here, it is completely different. He's got his own style. This looks like a fairly standard one. That guy's got a similar one. But just the amount of customization is pretty fun. So we turn our lights on. I mean, check this out. You've got the old school rotaries. You've got the new school LEDs. You've got these crazy side ones that also, by the way, you can turn those into alley lights. Like, check this out. For nighttime is really cool. Very, very handy. Look how it's lighting up the whole road. So if you're trying to see at night or someone's trying to run, those are super handy. So that's why it really depends what you're trying to do, right? If you want to play undercover and not have as much utility and sort of try and catch people in the act, you're going to want to use something more like that first build I did where it just had that one little light and looks like a civilian car. Or if you want to go full-on RoboCop, you can do the completely decked out crazy one like this and play that way. And then, the advantage to this is, even though they do see you, you've got things like license plate readers. You've got things like more lights. You've got the alley lights, spotlights, the grappler for catching them. So there is more utility. There is an actual use case for all these accessories. It's not just to look cool, even though it does look cool. Now, if you want to go one step further, you can actually... This one's actually a fun one to show you, because this one is very rarely used. And it's identical to the civilian version, and some of them are not. So that's something I want to point out here. Some of these cars will have some sort of slight difference, such as the wheels. See, I wonder if this guy even knows I'm a cop.
Yo.
See, he's right. See, he didn't even know I was cop, so I had to tell him with the lights. That's the hilarious thing. So, the van is really fun to use, especially for role plays too. You can use this, like, maybe you're doing a presidential escort and you want to have a few black vans and then some marked cars to guide them. And then these can all sort of act like a limo. That's one thing you can do with this one. So that's a fun one to show you. And of course, nobody's going to expect you to light them up with a van. And check this out. It's got little taillight flashers. It's got all these. You can add other things to this, but I like to do it, if I'm using the van, completely slick and clean. I'll show you a few other ones I really like. This one's an obvious one, but it's too overplayed. This one I like quite a bit. The Tahoe, because that one I like to deck it out. Kind of looks like, it could be another agency. Some cool antennas on there, and this is the brand new Tahoe, so it looks really nice. But check all this out. Just decked out. Now, I can show you exactly how to build all these cars if you guys want to copy any of my builds. I've got pretty much a build for every single car. Just let me know which one you want to do. It'll take too much time to go over every single thing individually right now, but let me know if you want any of the builds specifically. This is another one I really like. The Durango. You can see completely indistinguishable from the... This guy's got the Scottish bagpipes going. Get away from that for a second. But this one is completely indistinguishable from the civilian version. And of course, you can do all the lights all the way around. Plenty of lights, so you can do more of a bright build, I guess you'd call, instead of just like one little dash light if you just wanted that. So the amount of customization is just endless. So I don't want to drag on too much about the cars, but it is something cool, and it will determine your your play style. Is going to be how you dress and how you have your car set up. But let's now just go into how to be a cop. So let's just grab a random one here. Let's go back and just grab like one of these. This is a very common one. So this is obviously an unmarked, but it's not pretending to be a civilian. This is one that they can tell is obviously a police car. So let's just switch gears a bit and go into the basics of how to be a cop. So starting down here, let's get myself out of the way. Down here in the bottom right, you're going to see a controller. And you're also going to see up here in the top left a radio menu. These two things you don't see on civilians, so I'm going to explain how those work. So, controlling your vehicle we'll start with. You have this top line here in the first menu is your sirens. Now, you can't do those unless you have your lights activated. To activate the lights, they're at the very bottom here, the sliding menu. You can go cruise, which just puts them on steady. Rear, of course, is just the rear lights. And then full is all your lights. So any of these two... Actually, no, rear doesn't. You have to have full, and then you can activate your siren. So you have a couple of choices here. You can either put it on auto, which is your cycling one. And that's going to show you... You know, hands off, and you can just hit the C button on your keyboard if you're on PC. With the lights on. X is your lights, and then C is your siren. So you can do this like hands off. I kind of like to do it manually with the mouse as I'm driving, because you're driving your car with WASD. You have both hands available. A little tough to multitask sometimes, though, if you're in a chase. So the middle row here is your alley lights and spotlight, so that's just your utility. I'll take off the lights. They can be on or off, doesn't matter. You're really only going to want to use those when it's dark out, though. And the last thing here is this bottom right section is your traffic control. So that's just your ambers. You can select if you want people to go to the right or left of you. If you're pulled over on the side of the road, or you just need to assist with some traffic control, that's what that's for. So there is a ton of real, like, useful utility on the vehicles. Every police vehicle will have this. It will just depend what lights you have equipped and what equipment you have equipped that will allow or not allow you to use some of these items. So the next one is the radar. So every vehicle is going to have a radar. It will not necessarily have a license plate reader, though, unless you add them. See, I don't have them added on this car. I can show you that after, but that is more one if you want to find some wanted people sort of on automatically. Use that. The radar was able to see if they're speeding. You could say, hey, I caught you at the speed, so you can give them a speeding ticket. And the last menu is the walkie-talkie. So you can hold this down and speak into it, and it will actually voice change and give it like a police tone, the same as what you hear. Or there are a few different things that you can say that are pre-recorded. So a very common one is, let's say you pull someone over, you light them up, they don't necessarily see you, you maybe wail at them a bit, and then they're still not pulling over, you can go over here and go,
pull over now.
And that's very loud, and they are going to hear you. And now if they're not pulling over, they're definitely purposely evading you. So let's go out and demonstrate this in action and see if we can have a bit of a chase. See if this guy complies, whoever we find first. Let's just pull over the first person we see that's up to no good. This guy is sitting here waiting, doing a speed trap. See, that's a common thing. You can set up your radar and see if someone speeds. These long highways are a very common spot. But let me just show you an example of an interaction. So we've got all kinds of chaos over here. Okay, that guy is flying on the wrong side of the road, so we are going to activate our lights. Whoa! Okay, this was an interesting time to get involved. There's all kinds of commotion going on. So if you do run into your other fellow officers getting into a total chase like this, you may want to stop what you're doing and assist them, because if they're not able to contain the situation, they're going to want some backup. So why don't we just box this car in real quick so he doesn't get away and see what's going on. Now, I'm in a voice chat server, so everyone has mics, which I would highly recommend. It makes this a lot more fun. But let's just see how this goes for a minute.
What?
No, sir, I would never. Alright, you're clean. Make sure you stay out of trouble, alright?
I can't hear you.
Alright, so we got the tail end of this interaction. Looks like they're clean. So, looks like they don't need any backup. So let's go over here. Leave these guys be. No need to overpower when there's no need for anything.
I'm just trying to keep the youth safe.
This guy's looking out for gangs. That's pretty funny. So that's the kind of stuff you can role play. Let's see. We got a chase up there. So activate your lights. You do want to, you want to play like, obviously this isn't 100% real, but you want to play a little bit like real life, because, if you're going to go through a stop sign, you're going to go through a red light, you want to make sure your lights are activated when you do so. You don't want to be driving crazy just like this, otherwise you're not setting a very good example. So this guy's kind of stopped in the middle of the road, so let's see if we can just have a quick example of an interaction here.
Pull over, now!
Okay, so I did one pull over in the lights, and he pulled over. What's he doing? Okay, turn my mic on here. Hello, sir. How you doing today?
Good, you?
Pretty good. I just noticed you were going really slow in the middle of the road there. I wondered if everything was okay. Just wanted to check on you. Whoa! Just a minute, just a minute. Are you alright there, sir? Looks like you just crashed into a tree. Are you alright?
No, my head hurts.
Alright,
No,
do
my
we
head hurts.
need to call an ambulance, sir? Sorry, it's
Where did
okay.
I get this gun from?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that, sir. Right now, I'm just concerned with your safety. Do I need to call you an ambulance, sir?
No, sir. I can just walk back and get my other car.
Okay, hang on a second. All right, sir, are you all right? Do you need anything, or you can just go? I'm gonna deal with this actually.
I'm good.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm gonna deal with this gentleman here. He's clearly in need of some assistance.
I think I need mental assistance.
Not a problem. We got this. Man has been in a crash. All right, I've called the fire services. They're on their way. Whoa, 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 whoa! Careful with your gun, sir. I know you're a little bit disoriented right now, but please be careful with your gun. You don't need anybody to get hurt here. I'm gonna pull up my ballistic. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Careful, careful, sir, sir, sir. Yeah, the taser has no effect. Okay, he's gone down. He's gone down. We're just gonna wait for EMS. There's none? Oh. Well, that's a problem. So you can check. Oh, there are none. So you can actually check if there are any. Sometimes there are. So. Whoa! Hey! I mute myself in game. So sometimes this happens. We're just out here trying to protect and serve, and we get these hoodlums that come around and.
I guess I'm free.
Yeah, you're free to go, sir. You're free to go. As long as you're feeling better. Well, since there's no medics online, I actually have no choice but to respawn. So if there's nobody online, you can respawn. You usually want to wait around and roleplay it. Anyways, so that just gives you a quick example of how you can sort of do an interaction. how you can patrol, how you can pull someone over, and just the general kind of mechanics of it. So it's obviously up to your discretion, but you do want to, act within a certain way because, you are representing a police force. It's not like you don't want to like troll people and like do it all wrong on purpose. It's not really that fun. If you want to be trolly, if you want to cause havoc, do it on civilian. That's the place to do it. So the police, you do want to at least try a little bit to like take it seriously. All right, so that's just that's good for just showing you like a quick interaction. So next thing is maybe I'll just show you a bit of how the gear works. So you have a whole bunch of items. So I keep just these ones in my on my number taskbar here, and I keep the ones that I don't use as often in my backpack because there's so much stuff you can't keep it all immediately. And the reason you do that is you want to prioritize the things that if you're in a regular interaction you're going to need. So for example, I have my gun, I have my handcuffs, taser, flashlight for nighttime, my cell phone, my MDT, which is my computer. I'll show you how to use that in just a second. And my citation book. These are all the things you're going to need for a standard interaction. And if there's something else, like let's say you need to block off a road, you need some cones, you can come in and do that. You need a barricade, whatever. Maybe you need your baton or some pepper spray. You have all that available, but it's not necessarily going to be as urgent to need to just click a thing, grab your gun, and go, right? So that is the set that I would recommend that you put on your belt. How all these work, obviously with the gun, you don't want to be shooting first. You, as you know, I was just kind of saying about getting into the RP, you let them at least point their gun first before you shoot. You don't just want to go around and shoot people. That's lame. The other thing is with handcuffs, there's a big problem with something called cuff rushing, and it's basically if someone is wanted, you just run up to them and immediately arrest them and throw them straight to jail without any sort of RP. That's just boring. It's lame. And people do it because they want the experience. I will show you a way better way to make experience that's not going to upset anybody. But that's just another thing I want to point out. It's just some general etiquette when you are being a police officer. The next item that I really like using is the taser. So you kind of do a combo of someone's trying to run. You you have to this is a new thing. You have to refill it now. So you tase them, and then you switch to your handcuff, and then you can cuff them. And that is a way that if you're by yourself, you don't have any backup, and they're being aggressive and they do need to be cuffed, that is a nice combo. There are several non-lethal tools you can use. My favorite is the taser. It does immobilize them if you hit them enough time to run up with the cuffs and get them arrested. Flashlight, pretty self-explanatory at nighttime. Cell phone is the same as anything else. Like you saw me earlier there, if you need to call another agency to help you, obviously you have your radio here, but if you put it here, it goes to their MDT, and they're going to all see it, and they may not always be looking at the chat up here. You can maybe put it on both, but that is a way to get other agencies help. You can also call DOT this way. If somebody needs, a car towed or a tire repaired. Next thing is your MDT. So when you... Hold up. Actually, okay, let's just go roll with this guy. Sometimes people like to roll in with a partner. That's always fun. I won't say no. Go ahead. So I can still look at all this stuff while we're doing this. So MDT, you open up. There was a screen before that you just click OK on. You don't have to worry about like a password or anything like that. You just click OK. It's just to make it look cool. But how you use this is it'll tell you your BOLOs. So that stands for be on the lookout. So you look for, this guy here. He's wanted. Here's the car he's driving. So next one, this guy's got a black Cybertruck. They're wanted for whatever it is. And then you can see these people are over here, and it'll tell you all the things they're wanted for. So this person's got 3 stars, killed 4 people, fired on 5 officers, killed an officer, damaged 2 vehicles, and popped a tire. So this is an absolute menace to society. This is someone where you'd want to just, be a little more aggressive with, a little less patient with, a little more cautious with, and you can know that from looking at your MDT, how to approach. Now over here, we've got a little 1 star. They just damaged vehicle. They did fire an officer, but there's no murder here, okay? So I'd be a lot more, lenient with this person. I wouldn't be as aggressive. So just be careful with the amount of stars and what they've done, because sometimes maybe somebody's, ran a red light or something and they get 1 star, and all of a sudden they get surrounded by 5 cops and sent straight to jail. That's not really too fun for them, so let's try not to be, abusive cops. Let's try to do things within reason. So, next thing is, right here, let me get myself out of the way, you've got a list of all the other active cops that are on shift right now. So you've got both the police and the sheriffs are going to be in this list. Man, that siren is getting a little annoying. Hang on. Let's pause this for a second and just deal with this interaction first. So, turn my mic back on. Hey, pull over. See, now he hears the voice. Now he'll do it.
Stop.
Pull over, sir. So you gonna? There you go. Finally pulling over. Hello.
Hello.
Do you know why you were stopped today?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have no idea why someone's pulling you over?
No, I really don't.
Would you like to fill him in there, officer?
We pulled you over today because first you hit my vehicle, and then you
Wait. First you were in the wrong lane, right? Damn.
Yeah, with lights and sirens.
Oh.
Can I have a
don't
license
think
and
so.
registration?
Alright. Well. Sorry, bro.
Just gonna need to see your ID real quick. Okay, so you can check people's ID. You have to have something not in your hand. So if I had my flashlight, he can't show me the ID. So take your ID out and click me. There you go. So now it'll show their ID, so you can see all the stats about them. All right. Looks good, sir.
Mm-hmm.
His insurance is
Can I
up to
see
date.
your ID? Actually.
Oh, whoops, sorry, bro. I didn't mean that. Oh,
Is there anything else, or is he free to go? All right, let's just let him go. Let me mute myself again. Anyway, so there's another example of just like another fun little interaction. We've got 2 officers. It is fun to put two people in one car, because then you can kind of do like that. If they try to run away, you got a much better chance. Maybe you can shoot their tires out or pull the taser out, or if you need to detain them, it's a lot easier with 2. So that's definitely something fun. Let's go back to the MDT though. So you can see your list. Now, the difference between sheriff and police, like I was saying earlier, is pretty much the same. The only real difference is where they spawn and the cosmetic, and technically, if you want to roleplay it deeply, the sheriffs would be sort of in charge of the jail and prisoner transport and stuff like that, and then the police would be more about like more active in the spawn area, a little bit more proactive with patrols and whatnot. So that's really the difference. But in terms of functionality, it's the same. We share the same chat up here. We see the brown ones are the sheriffs, and the blue ones. What's going on here? The blue ones that talk here, like the way you talk in this, by the way, is you hit T. This thing will light up in red, and then you can click here and go. Let's just anyone need backup.
Officer?
Let's just do a random thing and see how my thing is. Whoa, what's going on here?
Officer,
My thing is.
Are you aware that you were going over 100 miles an hour? Oh.
I've
Do you know that you were going over 100 miles an hour in a residential zone? Okay.
Okay, so this is an example.
That has to be illegal in some way.
So, sir, why did you fire on him?
I was wanted, by the way. I didn't realize that. You could arrest me. Yo, wait.
Okay, so
are you making a video, by the way?
yeah, I'm doing a how to play police video. This is making a good example of a scenario of what not to do.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Tase me instead of shoot me. Make that noted.
Yeah, so
tase your suspects. Don't
Yeah.
You could have gotten arrested here. That
So
would've
so
been
generally
fun,
speaking, we
but-
don't want to go straight to shooting our suspects when they don't threaten us.
Especially, yeah.
So yeah.
I
When
didn't
they're not
know I
brandishing a
should have
weapon.
like freaking kill him. I thought it would like say no random kill.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you know.
well, I'm wanted, so you can.
He
do
is
that,
wanted,
but-
to be fair, but he didn't draw a gun on us or anything. And there's 2 of us and 1 of him, so
Maybe,
Alright, dude, I don't think I have my
Yeah.
taser.
it's
I
okay.
probably
He's
could've
probably in the
won,
trunk.
but,
Anyway,
like,
I'm just gonna
wait.
mute for a second
well,
here.
You can try to find me
so-
and chase me down. That'll give you some good
So that yeah, that's a
Alright,
perfect
well,
example. Like
try to
don't be that guy. I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose. He's I don't think he's a troll, but sometimes you get a little bit carried away and you
Yeah,
just
I
want to
didn't even know it would like kill him.
That's all right, man. We just learning as we go. So they you want to just
Don't
role
tell
play
the
this
boss,
properly.
bro. I'm cooked.
Did you look at my rank on your MDT?
Huh?
Did you look at my rank? Click on your. You have your MDT on you, right?
Huh?
Click on your MDT. And look what does it say by my name on Evil Bunny?
Let me find you. Commander?
That's right. So I am your boss, man.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Huh?
So
What did you say?
I'm just shooting the video, so I'm going on and off mute here. But so there's a funny thing. A funny thing, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle back and forth with the conversations in the video here, but
I just said,
Real quick, wait, let's make a truce for a second. Okay.
Where's
Get
your
in
hand?
car.
yeah, you're good. You're
I'm
good.
not wanted anymore, by the way. Get in your car and then turn. Like, press the button to turn. Like, just hold it down.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you should do that. Get in the car and then press the button that you would like use to turn, and just hold it down, and it'll flip the car over eventually.
Even if you
Give it
don't
a
have
second.
auto flip on.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Hey, no more
Just get in
shooting.
the
No more
car.
shooting.
I'm-
Hop in the
can't-
driver's
you can't
seat and
kill me.
turn.
Yeah, hop in the driver's
This
seat.
isn't-
and
this
then
isn't
turn
my
the
car, it's his.
In any direction,
Garrett.
and just hold it,
I have your ID real quick.
and it'll. No,
Okay,
you
so
cannot.
what we were getting at there is there are a ranking system, so good timing because you can see
No,
here.
you're good. This is unlawful.
Just a
very
second.
unlawful.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
All right, we got.
Just get in the car and turn to the.
I
left,
gotta go over here for a
hold it
sec. I gotta
down,
stay on track.
and it'll-
So there is a ranking system here that is relevant. So you can see in your MDT here that there's me at the top, Commander. Chief Deputy is the same as Commander. Just get my face out of the way. But that is the Sheriff version. So if they come over to Police, they would be Commander. If I go over to Sheriff, I would be Chief Deputy. It's the same thing. All the other ranks are the same. So I'm playing in a voice chat server. There's a lot of Commanders and Chief Deputies because this is where most of the people that have played for a long time will go because it's fun with the voice chat. Hold on a second. I gotta get away so I stop hearing them. I'm actually just gonna respawn real quick. Get away from that. You do want to, again, there's nothing that forces you to do this, but you do want to roleplay properly and follow the command of the ranks. Oh my god, hold on a second.
Shots fired.
What is going on here? Okay, I was trying to non-lethal him, but
Am I allowed to use the Mustang as gang unit?
What
Yes.
just happened?
Sweet.
yeah, why not? Okay. Anyways, I gotta get away from these crowds for a second here.
I'm in a Discord server, buddy.
Alright, so, back to topic here. When you get on here, there are a number of ranks. You want to familiarize yourself with
Yeah,
the
I
ranks.
appreciate that. I mean, I've run through like
The-
all the
Captain, right now, is the lowest, or Corporal, Captain, Major, Sergeant's the lowest. Here, where does it say that all in order? I'm not entirely sure what the order is, but Commander and Chief Deputy is the highest. Cadet is obviously the lowest, and then the ones in between are the same as your standard ranks. Major, I believe, is the second highest below Commander. So that one is when you become a supervisor, or no, colonel. Sorry, colonel. It goes major, then colonel, then commander. Anyway, so the point is if somebody you're riding with is a higher rank than you, do respect their authority. Do what they say. Like I was kind of scolding the kid for for just shooting at a guy for no reason. So obviously he's just kind of messing around. It's not really as fun when you do that, but whatever. He should listen to me, and you should kind of listen to your ranking officers. So just a little side note. Now let's move on here because we want to keep things moving along on how to get the most experience. So now that we kind of understand how to play, you get the feel for it. You get how to be a cop. Now your goal is, of course, if you're new to this, is you're going to want to rank up, because what you get when you rank up is you get more gear, you get more all these gear things. You can unlock different things that you don't have when you're lower rank, and you can also get different guns. So you can, like, for example, like there's these new guns you can get that are much better than the little pistol from the cadet. And the other thing you get is more vehicles. So for example, let's say you want the sweet Corvette, right? This is like the best cop car. You got to be I believe a colonel, so the second highest to get this. So you got to really grind to get this. I have all the cars because I'm commander, but that took several months to get. So the way you want to level up the fastest is you go on your MDT and you look for active calls. So this section and this section are basically the same. They update automatically. So you click whatever it is. So there's only one call right now, so let's go to that. Click join. This will now put you, see it says call join. It has your tag there, and that you can see that BUN is that call sign I put in before. Hop in your car, put your lights on. It'll tell you right there by that little indicator where to go. Since you got your lights on, you don't have to worry about traffic laws. Maybe you could, but that's all right. If you're going to drive, recklessly, just make sure you do have your lights on. I don't always put the siren on because I only really use it when I want someone to pull over or if they're not noticing. And see how it went up there? Responded to ATM Roy, plus 16.5 XP. Patrolling, plus 11 XP. And now I've gotten, just right there, I got 27 XP. That's quite a bit. Like an arrest, I think, is 30 XP. So just by doing that little thing, we have got ourselves XP. Now, you could look for the person who's probably long gone. You can, role play it out, set up a perimeter, call back out, whatever you got to do. Or if you're just farming XP, you just go to the next call. So you have to leave. You have to click leave. So now this call's done, and now you basically wait for another call. Now, you make XP driving around too. If you sit here and don't drive, you're not going to get any XP. I have tested that. So you have to be moving and actively playing. You can't just idle it. I'm just going to quickly fill up my car because it's out of gas. Another thing to be careful for. But that is going to be the way that you make the most XP. Now, whether or not you want to go and be on an arrest rampage is up to you. You can. I try not to arrest too many people. It's just kind of annoying. Or, make sure that they've at least got the timer up for the money they stole, because it is such a grind to get money. You can check my other videos on how to make money. It's crazy. So I am a pretty... I am a pretty lenient cop when I play. I don't just go on a rampage. I try and, respect the fun aspect of it all. We are here to have fun. We're not just here to mindlessly grind. So that is basically what you want to do. And you want to keep moving around, keeping your gas up and driving around in the time between calls, because you will get patrolling XP. Now, an interesting one I want to point out is these houses. When somebody robs a house, you can get a call to respond to them. So, if there's no calls going on, I often drive through the neighborhoods, and randomly, if there was a recent house robbery, you may end up getting XP. Okay, let's join this call. You may end up getting XP for a house robbery that took place a long time ago that isn't on the MDT anymore, and you can just get XP. So, any of the crime scenes, that applies true. Hang on, let's hold that thought and just join this chase. again, I like to always join in on chases if somebody is trying to get away. Is it this guy there chasing? No, it doesn't seem to be. Let's just ignore that. Whatever, they're long gone. So, another place that I'll show you that is really good for just a random drive-by for XP is the jewelry store. Now, the jewelry store is just one spot right kind of in the middle of the map, and it gets robbed all the time. So what you can do is you patrol over, do a loop. It's right over here by the hospital, and you simply drive past it. Kind of slow down when you get in front of it. Let's see if I get one. Okay. There's none right now, but there will be soon. Of course, every time you go somewhere, just constantly check your... Okay, here we go. So near the RC Bank, we've got a ATM robbery. So let's join that. Lights on. Right here, there's an ATM. You simply roll up to it. Boom, 16.5 XP. Now you look around. If you want to, you know, again, role play, look for the guy, that's on you. But if you're purely just trying to farm XP, just show up to the call and drive away and go to the next thing. So another thing you can do here is go over to the bank, because the bank gets robbed quite often. Whoopsie. Let's put our lights on and try not to be too disruptive here while we do this. The bank gets robbed all the time, so just pull up here to this door. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Doesn't seem to be getting robbed right now, so we're good there. Other things are like places that have cash registers, so like the gas stations. You can kind of roll over here. And you know what? It's not really too harmful to just drive around with your lights on all the time if you're doing this loop, just so, you know, people are advised that you're coming through and you're not driving normally. You know, these get robbed quite a bit, so you can just walk up to these. There's an ATM right here you can walk up to. Again, all these things, you're going to be racking up patrol miles, and you're also going to potentially get a expired thing that will give you XP. So you never know. So this is maximizing every minute, right? And then again, you go back on your MUT. That one expired. Oh my god. He's trying to tell me I'm running a red light, but I have my lights on, so he doesn't understand how that works. Anyways, one that I wouldn't do is stolen vehicles. Okay, this guy's getting on my nerves.
Pull over, now!
So, someone goes 100 miles per hour, you don't pull them over. Alright, okay. Yo, someone just went, I'm out of here.
Pull over, man.
50 miles per hour.
Pull over.
Pull over, now!
See, now he doesn't have too much to say. To be honest, the only reason let me mute myself again. The only reason I was going to pull him over is so I could talk to him without disrupting traffic. So I'll pull over now so we can... Here's a good example of when I would use these traffic lights, right? They're not very good on the Corvette, but at least they're there. You see I'm directing traffic just to avoid me. There's no emergency, but just to make sure I don't get crashed into when I'm pulled over. So... anyways, that is what I would do. I would just keep running these. Press P, by the way, on parking brake if you're rolling and want to sit still. So, that is what I would do if I am just purely going for XP. Now, the next thing is, if you're also running out of stuff, is you can hunt the wanted people. So, you can go through the list of all the wanted people. Oh, here's a good one. The bank's being robbed, so let's join that. These, in my opinion, just responding to calls are the easiest and fastest because you immediately know... Let me turn my lights on. You immediately know where to go. See, the map will mark you. You can go lights on straight there. It ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter if the people are there or not when you get there. So it is a great thing to... Whoa. My car doesn't want to turn today. It is a great thing to do. So watch this. I'll roll up. There's the guys doing it. I'm just going to let them go because we're not going to disrupt them too much right now. But look, there it is. 15 XP. Respond to bank robbery. That's done. You got your XP. Whether or not I want to chase them is on me. So these guys took off. They're long gone. But you could chase them. And of course, if you want to just have fun, you do want to chase them. But for this purpose, we're just talking about XP maxing right now. So, the last thing is, we'll go back to the MDT. Chasing wanted people. Now, there's a couple ways. You can just memorize what they look like. So, for example, this was that guy we were interacting with earlier. Looks like he's killed someone now, so he's wanted, so you can go arrest him. But the only downside to this is that you have to find them. Now, there's a couple ways to find them. You can just happen to run into them, or you can see their last location, or you can use the helicopter. So let's see if we can use it right now. It is on a cooldown for different people. Let's find the one that's 5-star, and let's begin a search on the most wanted person. So, okay, air support is already busy. Or wait, maybe it already did start. Okay, yeah, it's going for that guy. So I just activated it. So now we've called the helicopter out. So I'm going to hop into the helicopter. It's a little hard to see because it's nighttime, but it's currently searching for the player. And once it locates the person, it will do this automatically. You don't have to be in here. It's super loud. Okay, I think it's located him. There he is. So that's the guy right there. We can see he's in a black GTR. Oh, and I've been shot. So I got killed, so now I can't look anymore. But you can see those are the same people. I'm just for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna respawn. Usually I would roleplay that, but you can see it is the same guys, and they are now right here. I think, yeah, that's them right there. You can see at nighttime there is a light trail. So that light trail, it's kind of hard to see actually at night. It's almost easier to see in daytime, but it's kind of like how the street lamp was. You could see that, and that will show you exactly who the chopper is chasing. They can shoot the chopper out of the sky. Not everyone knows that. You can, as a civilian, you can actually disable the chopper, so you don't have to go it all the way out. But you see here, it will show you on your radio where they are. It'll show the exact postal code if you can't see the chopper physically. And then basically all the cops will surround them, and the arresting officer gets the most experience, but every other officer that's near them will get a assist experience. So you can get experience that way. Now, you can see why that's not the most efficient way if there are active calls, right? So you really only want to do that if there are no active calls. Now, here's another thing to point out. We got a 911 call. So that is someone who is, they put in what they want to respond to and the location. So that is purely for roleplay. So you don't get experience by responding to player-generated 911 calls. However, you do want to do it just to be a good cop. But again, we're just going to focus right now on XP. Don't do that, and also don't respond to stolen vehicles, because you don't get XP for going to where it was stolen from. You only get XP if you go over to Eddie's, the chop shop here, right here, where you sell the car and maybe you like attempt to arrest them there, or you do arrest them. That's how you get XP for that, but again, very hard to do. So I'm just trying to tell you the tried and true easy circuit. Drive around to all the normal spots, respond to all the calls that you can get XP for, like here's one right here. A cash register robbery. Boom. Go to that, right? There you go. So you can see if you're in a populated server, you're going to get constant calls. There's going to be constant crime. There's the bulk of the players are going to be civilian. There's usually, 10 or 20 of them. Let's see how many are here right now. Yeah, 20. So it's full of civilians. 20 different people committing crimes. There's plenty of subject matter to respond to. Let's see what else we can talk about for XP. That's pretty much it. So you want to keep going on the loop. I guess one more tip is obviously you're going to want to go in a server that has the most amount of people. Like this server has like almost the full 40 people in it. It's 30 something people. So you want to make sure that there's at least 30 people. More than 35 or even 40 is optimal. The only downside is the police teams fill up first, but most of the time you'll be able to get in. If one's full, just go to the other or wait for one to open up. But the more people, the more calls, the more crime, the more XP. So that is my tip there. Let me think what else there is to really explain. I mean, a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, but I'm just kind of trying to show you guys. It's a lot to take in when you first start out if you're new to the game, or maybe you haven't played police before. There is a lot going on, so hopefully I haven't forgotten too much. If there's anything I did forget, just let me know in the comments. I'll respond. If it's something fairly significant, I'll just make a whole new video and make sure we explain that. The car customization. is really, really fun to totally determine your, your play style. This one, for example, I've decked it out with, a push bar and antennas and stuff, so it is obviously a police car, and it's a model that they use very often in real life. So unmarked, but not a ghost car. Kind of fun to play. What do we got going on here? And you can see the action is non-stop, and you're never going to be bored playing police. So let's see. I'm going to see if I can get an assist here if they're going to arrest someone. See, patrolling. See, I've got another 10 experience just from patrolling, right? So these are all cops.
Pull over. Stay right here. Do not move. I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care if you're a cop.
Yeah, I knew he knew I'm a cop. I'm just pulling over and putting my lights on. Okay, so this guy's full-on role-playing. He is going into his radio. So let's, since we're at the end of the video, let's end it off with a police-on-police interaction. You gotta remember, we are not immune. I don't know, man. I was looking at my computer. Well, don't do it again. Yeah, I messed up, man. I messed up. I wasn't looking at you. We're supposed to be able to multitask, but I did look the other way, and then he just came out of nowhere.
Alright, unit, show me back tonight. Sorry, I was talking in my radio. Alright, you're fine, man.
Alright, thanks,
just
man.
don't do it again, alright, please?
Yeah, I'll be more careful. Alright, take care, Sheriff. So that was a sheriff, so you can see how his vehicle looks the same as some of mine, but his name was brown instead of blue, so same authority. If you do play cop and you do something silly, like I'm obviously shooting a video, so I'm a little distracted, so I crashed into a fellow officer, yeah, I deserve to get pulled over and reprimanded. The police have to enforce within the police agencies. So, here, for example, just going back to the stolen car thing, you're not really gonna, have any point of sitting here waiting for someone to come steal it, because, they're gonna see you, they're not gonna steal it. And then, in terms of XP farming, it's not just gonna be very efficient. That'll be fun to do, like, just a normal gameplay and normal roleplay, for sure. But if we're talking about just maxing out your XP, getting on that grind, don't worry about any of that stuff. Just run the MDT and patrol, and just keep going through, like house robbery. Again, boom, go to that. And yeah, like I said before, make sure you leave your call before you go to the next call. So, that's a pretty good overview of the police force, how to be police. This is the one that I play the most often. It's the one I have the most outfits for, for different scenarios. I have like a SWAT one if I want to be SWAT. I have like a detective, like undercover. You get like big utility trucks like this for different sorts of role playing, all kinds of stuff you can do. Really, really fun stuff. Sometimes I'll dress up as like ICE or an FBI or some sort of agency, or maybe I'll wear like a suit and I'll be like Secret Service and do a presidential guard, all kinds of stuff. And the radio is super helpful. I guess actually, speaking of the radio, one thing I forgot to mention is you have that way to talk to the other officers here. You can also talk to the other departments. You can see here, there's red and brown in the chat. This is a sheriff talking about to this firefighter that they need units at spawn. So probably talking about EMS, paramedics. So if someone said 10-4, it just means okay, yes. So it says right here, got a Tesla on fire. So they actually need a firefighter to come put out the fire on the Tesla. So there's an example of how you can collaborate with the other agencies. And then another thing is, I won't do it right now, but because I don't want to cause havoc, but you can hit not T, but Y. And you can see here, it's brought up this little radio. And you can kind of say, for example, and you can see how he's holding the mic now, which is why I have the little walkie on here. I just think it's funny. I wish it was on the other arm, actually, but whatever. You can say, for example, I'll just hit like available for now, and that will send show me 10-8 means you're available in service. And now the other officers know that if they need backup, you're available to call. Now when you want to really use this is you go back and hit Y. Require backup or panic sort of do the same thing, but if you need to get backup or you need to share your location or you need to tell you that you're on the way, en route, these are the ways you can communicate without having to type it all out to your police-wide chat, and that is what you use that for. So that's another, just the quick radio, something just important to point out that I forgot earlier. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'll probably leave it there. I don't want this to go much more than an hour. You're gonna lose your attention span here, but if you made it this far, thank you very much for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, please do leave a like if you liked what you saw, if this was helpful. If you have any questions, maybe leave a comment. I will leave it there. Thank you very much. We will see you next time.
No, 0.7.